It was the opposition led by the SLFP which broke its silence today on the alleged insider trading controversy at the central bank. 3 SLFP parliamentarians visited the commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption today to lodge a formal complaint against the governor of the central bank.
MPs Mahinda Amaraweera, Jagat Pushpakumara and Eric Prasanna Weerawardena arrived at the commission this morning and called on the commission to conduct an investigation on purported insider trading at a recent bond issue of the central bank.
This fraud had caused an instant loss to the central bank and the country. This transaction took place without any transparency whatsoever. In addition to this instant loss, as a result of the drastic increase in the interest rates, a loss of more than 60 billion will be incurred in repaying government debt next year. This is extremely harmful to the country. The media too was able to expose a fraud that was committed under the program of this 100-day government. A person who is not a citizen of this country has been appointed to one of the most important positions. We also made a special request that he be prohibited from overseas travel in order to prevent him leaving the country. The annual loss incurred by the country as a result of this going for a higher interest rate is 60 billion. I believe that a loss of this scale is a major economic crime for the country. Using such a massive amount of money, we would actually be able to build expressways from Colombo to Galle every year. This is a major blow to financial good governance and fiscal discipline in the country.
Controversy has also arisen with regard to the appointment of the 3-member committee by the Prime Minister to investigate this matter.
At the same time, we cannot have any faith in the committee appointed by the Prime Minister. This has happened under his ministry, so we are hoping to make a request of the President when he returns to the island to appoint an independent committee. The mistake has been made by a person who is under the Prime Minister's office. What we see is that a committee comprising of lawyers from the UNP headquarters Srikota has been appointed. This would be like getting the story from the rogue's mother. We reported this to the Bribery Commission.
Sri Lanka Nidahas Pakshe Washen api visheshen kiyanata ona me ganadenuwa itama.
As the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, we must clearly state that this is a very suspicious transaction. If the committee appointed to investigate this is to fulfill its task independently, it will have to secure all the documentation and evidence from the central bank itself. Without making this a situation where they get the story from the rogue's mother, the governor of the central bank should resign if they are to conduct an independent inquiry.
ස්වාධීන ලෙස ඒ පරීක්ෂණය පැවැත්වීමට නම් වර්තමාන මහ බැංකුවේ අධිපතිවරයා ඉල්ලා අස්වෙන්නට ඕන.
The committee appointed to review the purported bond scam is a mockery of Yahapalanaya, and it is an insult to the president's commitment to have a system of Yahapalanaya in this country. What is under investigation is not to prosecute somebody in a criminal court, nor to read some contracts of law. So 3 lawyers does not make any sense. The committee should comprise of a senior central banker, maybe a former retired deputy governor of the central bank. Secondly, it should have a senior chartered financial analyst. And thirdly, a senior chartered accountant who's in practice.
Firstly, the appointing authority, the authority responsible for the appointment of the governor of the central bank, is the same authority who has appointed this committee. That's not transparency. It would have been far better if the 3-member committee consisted of a retired central banker with knowledge of the workings of this very specialized instrument called a treasury bond, a financial analyst, and perhaps a chartered accountant. Following their initial report, there may be or may not be a case for a legal team to set in. The appointment of this committee is actually an insult to the intelligence of the people of this country. It is also non-reflective of good governance, the basis upon which this new government was elected by the people of Sri Lanka.